Hey, from New Jersey, it's the SNL Nerds, a show where two comics from New Jersey nerd out about Saturday Night Live. I'm your co-host, Darren Patterson.
And I'm your co-host, John Trumbull.
Don Trumbull, I see you. I see your face.
Yes.
And your eyes, and your beard, and it all. It's amazing.
I see your face, and your eyes, and your beard, and everything.
Yeah, I mean, folks, for those that don't know, we're recording this on Easter Sunday, and we're recording it together. In the studio, the old non-pro studio, like we used to back in ye olden times.
In the ye olden times of like early 2020, before the world fell apart.
Yes, the days of
Well, the world was falling apart before that.
Yeah,
let's be real.
The world is still falling apart. It's still
it's a continuous process.
It's a slow erosion.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, the last time we were both here in this room, March 2020, we did the Daniel Craig episode.
How do you remember that?
I don't know. I just remember these things. Like it was a historic event. Don't you remember? Don't you remember? It's like remembering the first time you saw Star Wars or whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, now we're back here. How does it feel to be back in the old room? Feels like you never left.
Sort of, I guess.
Okay.
It honestly, it feels a little weird that you're here because I've recorded here by myself a few times.
Oh.
With you, like, still at home.
Oh, so I'm intruding. I'm in your home.
Right. Yeah. No, yeah.
Can you leave?
You're in my house now, Patterson.
Oh, damn. Wow, that sounds like prison rules you're about to give to. You in my house now, son. You pee sitting down.
That was very specific.
That
was disturbingly specific.
I lived a life, my friend. That's all I'll say about that.
Okay, all right. No judgment.
Yeah, speaking of living lives, we're here to talk. That was a terrible segue. But yeah,
it really was. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say pee sitting down, but I was like, no, let's not do that. But yeah, we're here to talk about the latest episode of Saturday Night Live.
Mm-hmm.
Second time host, SNL alum, Molly Shannon hosted.
Molly Shannon with the Jonas Brothers. This is season 48, episode 17, episode from April 8th, 2023.
Indeed.
So the last time she hosted, what was it? It was like something like, it was some absurdly long period of time, like 10, 15 years ago or something like that.
It was even longer than that. She hosted in 2007 with musical guest Linkin Park.
See, that's nuts. Like, if you'd asked me before, I would have been like, oh, when she last hosted, I would have guessed like 5 years ago.
No. Like, I think, yeah, basically, if somebody was born the last time she hosted, they would be in high school right now.
That's just crazy pants.
Yeah, it's about 16 years, so if my math is correct.
That's nutty.
Time is a weird thing, my friend.
Yeah, that's odd.
Time. See what becomes of me.
I thought you were going to go slipping into the future, but...
Oh, damn, that's even better.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, whatever.
I mean, it sounded like you were... What is that, a Steve Miller song?
Oh, time keeps on slipping into... Fly Like an Eagle.
Yeah, that's Steve Miller, right?
That's Steve Miller Band, yes.
Okay.
Exactly. Right. Like, there's so many songs with the word time in it, time after time.
Yeah.
I was trying to choose one, and that's what made
Time to see what's become of me.
Oh, God, the song rocks. I like both versions. The
Bangle. I heard the Bangles version first, and then went back to the Simon and Garfunkel.
Yeah, same thing. Like, I'm one of those people that didn't know it was a cover till, like, later.
Yeah, because we're Gen Xers.
Yeah, like, S&G did that? Say word.
Word.
Yeah, word to your mother. But Molly Shannon, hey, she's
Molly
back.
Shannon, she's back.
Back in the building. One of the most, I would say, one of the most beloved SNL alumni. Like, everybody loves Molly. You rarely find anyone that has like a problem with her or has a bad thing to say about her or that says like I don't care for Molly. Really, everybody she's very lovable.
She is. I wouldn't say she's like one of my personal favorite cast members. I'm like, yeah, she's all right.
Oh, okay, all right, that's fine.
So.
All right, but yeah, it just I don't know. She just seemed to be like a level, almost like a Gilda type of thing.
She's a very up person.
Yes,
yeah,
very
a lot of energy, a lot of happy thoughts,
and a lot of sass and pizzazz.
Yeah.
And people love her. So ready to dive in? Ready to do this?
I guess so. Yeah, sure. Let's do this.
Let's do this, baby.
So we started out with what is identified on YouTube as Trump Easter Cold Open. I originally had it in my notes as Last Supper Cold Open, and I was so excited when this started because I was like, "Oh, cool! We're doing like an Easter thing. We're getting away from the formula of doing politics and current events in the Cold Open. We're doing an Easter thing, so it's still kind of topical." And we got Mikey Day as Jesus. We've got Molly. Not Molly Shannon. We've got Molly Carney as Judas.
Judas, yeah.
And I'm like, all right, yeah, this will be cool. This will be something different from the norm. We're cooking.
And then
I'm all excited. And then Trump comes up. James Austin Johnson as Trump comes on, and I just wrote in my notes like, ugh, fucking Trump.
Yeah.
So I don't have words to convey my disappointment.
It was, yeah. I kind of felt the same way you do. Like, I saw like, oh, we're doing, because like they said, like they introduced like the Last Supper and like how Jesus is about to be arrested and tried. And
one of you will betray me. And,
yes.
And we cut to Molly Carney going, what? Huh?
Yeah.
What?
So I was like, oh, okay, this is kind of new. This is kind of different. And then the twist, the turn.
Yeah.
Where James Austin Johnson comes out as Donald Trump, and it's literally him just talking for 4 minutes straight. Just him rambling as he does in his Trump, with his Trump impression, talking about comparing himself to Jesus Christ again,
right?
And like how, people are turning on him just because he was friendly with a sex worker, and now they want to put him in jail, and like how he's being persecuted, much like Jesus Christ on his birthday, Easter.
Right.
And
he talked about how Jesus was a Nepo baby.
Yes.
And how it's like really easy to start a religion when your dad is God.
Yeah. I mean, I will say
there were some funny lines scattered in there, but I'm so burned out on, even James Austin Johnson's Trump.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the thing where, I mean, we've said it before in the podcast. He does a really good Trump. Mm-hmm. It's probably one of the best Trumps I've, except for J.L. Colvin, our friend of the podcast. But yeah, it comes out.
New special's finally out, by the way.
Yeah. That's an inside joke, listeners. Go follow us on Facebook to understand that. Yeah. But yeah, it's one of the things like we're getting this amazing Trump impression, but it's coming at a time where a lot of people are just sick and tired of Trump. That but it's
like, and I recognize that him finally getting arraigned is like a huge story, and
right,
and like anything involving Trump, like who knows where it's going to go and what's going to happen and all that. But
we're hoping for the best, but I don't know.
But I was so excited that SNL was like shaking up the formula and doing something different, and then nope, fucking nope,
nope. Yeah, how do I feel about this? I do.
You feel bad. You feel bad the way I do.
Okay,
Come join me over here.
I feel how you feel. Yes, exactly. I mean, I do like the impression. Like I said, he does have some good lines in here.
Yeah,
like, Jesus of Azkaban, and saying, "Oh, happy Hanukkah to all the Passovers," and calling Ron DeSantis his Judas. I think the problem is just him kind of talking and rambling for 4 minutes straight. I feel like they need something in there to break it up a bit.
I did think it was cute how he was making fun of how everyone in the cast behind him was frozen in place. And Mikey as Jesus was like, oh, he's got his hand up, and he's had to keep his hand there for ages. And it looked like they were having a little fun with that.
Yeah.
And that was kind of infectious. But
yeah, I think it's just like he needs something. Maybe the Trump impression needs like something to break it up, or he needs somebody to bounce off of. Just
break it up like a few weeks of shows without Trump.
Yeah, that would be nice. But it's just like him talking for 4 minutes straight. I don't know if
that's a lot.
It's a lot. I don't know if that's enough to. I don't know if I want to hear just 4 minutes of him just babbling.
I did not.
On.
I mean, because like he came out and again, this is no reflection on the impression or the characterization or their comedic take on Trump. It's just me being burnt out on Trump. But he came out and I was just like, oh, fucking Trump.
Yeah. I mean, I get it because he's in the news now and the arraignment and the indictment and all.
Yeah.
But like
I get why they did it, but I
think we need.
It felt like such a bait and switch. You know?
Really, no, it was. It didn't feel like it. It was a bait and switch.
Yeah.
It's like, we're gonna give you this. Psych.
Psych! No, we're doing politics again.
Trump's going to talk for 4 full minutes.
Fuck you for having hope.
Fuck your dreams. So yeah, like I don't know. I thought the cold open was okay, but it wasn't. I'm kind of like.
I would have been more excited to see the Jesus sketch. I would have been more excited to see the Last Supper thing.
Exactly. Like maybe they could have done the Jesus sketch, but play it out like the Trump indictment, but not bring in
Trump comes in and is an uninvited guest, and he's like interacting with the disciples or
yeah,
something.
I think that's it. He needs to be interacting with somebody or just something to break it up. Because just him just talking,
it's a lot.
It's a lot. It's just it gets kind of almost like white noise after a certain point. But it's. I don't know.
Now, watch you have to get racial with
it. I'm sorry. On Easter of all days.
I know.
I apologize.
On Easter of all days. White people's holiday.
As soon as I said it, I was like, Easter? Oh, boy. All right. So, yeah. Cold open.
Yeah. It doesn't give us high hopes for the show to come.
It does not. Monologue.
Monologue with the host, Molly Shannon.
Yes,
Molly. And a daring break from the past. We had the host doing the monologue.
Yeah, very interesting. So Molly comes out looking like $1 million. Is talking about how her kids are older now. I think one of her kids is graduating college and one is getting out of high school.
I think she said one is in college and one is graduating high school.
Right.
So they're close in age.
Okay. She talks about her new book that came out, her memoir, Hello, Molly.
Right. Which I have not read, but I have seen at the library.
Yes. I saw it at the library and I just kept on walking by
I saw the cover and I was like, I should look at that sometime. Not today. But sometime.
Someday I will.
Steve Martin has a new book out too.
Oh, he does?
Yeah, it's I don't remember the title of it, but it was a memoir in cartoon form. He teamed up with a cartoonist to tell lots of anecdotes about his career.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and it's had stories about a lot of his movies like Roxanne and Planes, Trains, and Automobiles and even what was the movie he did with Goldie Hawn? Was it House Guest or House Sitter? It was House something.
Yes.
And he told a story about that.
Okay. I want to say House Guest.
I think it was House Guest.
Okay. Cool. But yeah, she's talking about her book, and she talks about how she always kind of tried to stay positive, because she has experienced a lot of troubles and adversity in her life, but she always tries to be positive and keep a upbeat attitude, and that goes into her singing a song, "Everything's Coming Up Roses" from Ethel Merman
from the musical Gypsy.
Yes. And and
not a comedic version of it. She is just straight up singing the song, no lyric changes or anything.
Yeah, just straight up, just belting out them.
You'll be great, you'll be swell.
Well done, I played.
Yeah.
Then we have the other Molly coming in, Molly Carney, crashing in through her monologue, saying, I feel how you feel. Like, I've had down times. Like, I'm not in this show a lot, so I'm decided to crash your monologue just to get some more camera time.
Yep.
Yay. And then she talks to everybody else in the cast who's like, what are you feeling down about? And she's talking about how Keenan can't stop buying fake Rolexes, and Chloe pretends to have a peanut allergy for attention.
Right. And Ego just tested positive for COVID. Everyone's like, wait, what?
Yeah. So it's like everybody telling them their problems and how we just need to have an upbeat attitude. Talks to the audience and about their problems. Then we cut to her asking Lorne what his problems are, and Lorne has no problems because he's Lorne Michaels.
He's Lorne fucking Michaels.
And next to Lorne Michaels, Martin Short, just out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And Martin Short ran out of Ozempic.
Yeah, which the line was a little lost because of, I think, the applause, the audience reaction. I had to play it back to be like, wait, what did he say? And it's like, oh, he's out of Ozempic.
Right.
What's that medicine for? I don't feel like Googling it. Okay. Yeah. And then he's gobbling a hamburger. So it has something to do with food, I guess.
It is. I had to look that up because I didn't know what Ozempic was either. Apparently it's a medicine to improve blood sugar in adults with type 2 diabetes.
Okay. Well, all right.
So that makes the burger thing a little bit funnier.
Yeah, a little more understandable. I wonder if Martin Short actually has diabetes or if he's just joking about having diabetes.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Is he making fun of people with diabetes? Martin Short? Canceled.
What's a shame?
Do better, Martin Short.
Yeah.
And and then it just ends with this whole big musical singing number. Everybody singing Everything's Coming Up Roses.
Yeah. It felt a little weird to me. It felt like they just kind of didn't know what else to do with Molly Shannon.
Yeah. I mean, and it ends with Molly Shannon doing the superstar pose too. I should mention that.
Yeah.
She does the Mary Catherine Gallagher.
She's kind of known for that.
Yeah, that's her thing. Yeah, I thought it was all right, but yeah, I kind of see what you mean. It seems like singing a song is kind of it just feels like one of those go-tos they do.
It is. I mean, at least we didn't have the trope that I've gotten really sick of this season, which is like, here are my humble beginnings. Here's me in my home movies, or this commercial or soap opera that I did back in the day when I was a struggling actor. I'm just like you. Yeah. I've gotten tired of that, and we didn't go to audience questions. I mean, a song it is a big high energy way to kick off the show, but yeah,
it was.
It didn't grab me in a big
way. I'm trying to figure out why it didn't grab me like it should have. Like it. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was a nice song, and they sang it well, and it was high energy, high upbeat. But yeah, it did feel kind of maybe a little hollow.
Did we not like it because we're dead inside? Was that it?
You know what? That's it.
Okay.
There it goes.
All right. I thought it was something like that. That's usually my go-to answer for things like this.
We have no feelings. Yes.
We have no souls. Okay. I'm glad we got to the bottom of that.
I'm glad too. The monologue was written by Mike DeScenzo, Steve Coren, and Jake Nordwind. Okay. And we should also mention the cold open was written by Rosebud Baker, Mike DeScenzo, Allison Gates, James Austin Johnson, Streeter Seidel, and Ken Sublette.
Ooh.
It's a lot of people for just one person to keep talking.
A lot of people to disappoint us.
It takes a village.
And then we have our first sketch of the evening, our first full sketch, Valets. Which is
written by Dismukes, Martin Hurley, John Higgins, Ben Marshall, August White.
Is it end with an E or a Y?
An E. AugustE. Auguste?
Maybe just August?
Maybe. A white. We'll say that sounds like I'm talking about a white guy. But yeah, it was
Again, why do you have to make it racial?
I don't know what's happening here. Oh my god, I'm problematic.
Darren Patterson, canceled.
Canceled. All right. I'd just like to apologize for everybody I've offended. I didn't mean to do that. I'm getting my apology ready just in case.
Right, yeah. Apologize to all the whites.
Yes. Jesus. I'm sorry, white people. I'm sorry.
So this was, it's we're at a luxury hotel. There's a company called Vincent Valets, and Andrew Dismukes is training James Austin Johnson, Molly Shannon, and Keenan in his patented method of how to be a good valet.
Right. So he's telling them, keys to be a good valet: do a little joke, little bow, and a little jog. So he demonstrates. He walks up to a couple, takes their car keys, makes a little joke about them. I think it's like Chloe and Sarah Sherman. Sarah Sherman's dressed as an older woman.
Right.
And then he says like, oh, hey, your sister looks great. And they're like, oh, that's my mom, you silly.
You're bad.
You're bad. And of course he does. And then after he makes a little joke, he does a little bow and does that little kind of running joggy little thing back to the little key stand.
Which I guess is a thing that valets do. I don't know. I don't deal with valets a lot in my day-to-day life.
Me neither. I
felt like I wasn't in the right tax bracket to really appreciate this sketch.
I don't have valet money. This sketch isn't for the common man.
I don't have parking garage money.
I have meter money.
Yeah.
Or free street parking.
I'm like, I have 30 minutes in the meter money.
Yes. I can park in this garage for the first 30 minutes for free money. Yes. That I can do.
I have, there's time left on this meter money.
Yeah.
Score.
I have, this meter is broken money. I can park here.
Yeah.
But yeah, so.
Also, you live in New York City. Who drives in New York City? Who's dealing with valets in New York City?
I'm assuming like the upper crust and upper elite. your la-di-da hoity-toity types.
Okay.
The
I guess when you're an SNL cast member, you make valet money.
I know. I'm sorry. You got to make that Colin Jost bucks.
So the joke is that James Austin Johnson, Molly, and Keenan, they are all not getting it to some degree or another, and they're all screwing it up.
Yeah, like James Austin Johnson tries out the technique. He walks up to Heidi and Longfellow. They're a couple, and he takes Longfellow's car keys, and it's like, oh, hey, you got a Porsche. You compensating for something?
Yeah, and it's just followed by a lot of small penis jokes.
Yeah, and then he gives him back his keys and runs away.
Right, as you do.
As you do. Then we have Molly Shannon trying it. She takes Molly's car keys, and then she kind of goes off in a rambling rant about being in love with her, and it's like, oh, joking, I'm married. Actually, I found out he wasn't a man. He was a sick middle schooler using a hospital computer.
Right.
And then she just runs away. So it's all the valets just fumbling, trying to get this simple task completed.
Right. Nobody can hit on that winning formula, little joke, little bow, little jog. And we have Keenan saying, I'm going to steal your car, you black bitch.
Yeah. Wow. That was... He says it to Devin, so... It's okay.
It's
okay to do that.
Right.
Yeah, that came out of nowhere. I was like, oh, shit. Like, oh, I'm offended.
And he says it, like, really aggressively.
Yeah, he runs up to Devin.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to steal your car.
We see Devin, like, breaking a little bit. He walked into the hotel, and he's, like, almost doubled over in laughter.
Yeah, he couldn't take it. I think the sketch was all right. It was a little... I mean, I think the sketch was a little sloppy in some points. It seemed like there was a few points where they were, like, kind of... talking over each other, and I think a few spots I saw the Mr. Q's a little bit.
It seemed like they got their lines out of sync at one point. Like Molly comes back to the cluster, and then she's like, "Oh yeah, that wasn't good," and then like Andrew says, "Like, oh, how was that?" or something. It seemed like they got out of sync for a moment.
Yeah, it seemed like that sketch, like I said, like you said, like the beats were out of sync for a little bit. I mean, ultimately, I think they got there. I think it ends with. Dismukes becoming, frustrated with these newbies, these rookies that can't get it, and then they'll be like, "Oh, don't worry, we'll do you proud, boss." And Keenan says, "Oh, I swallowed all the car keys."
Right.
And then them just doing a little jog off to the hospital to get the car keys out.
Yeah, ends kind of abruptly.
It does. It
was okay. It didn't really send me. I didn't feel like it was top of the show good. I felt like this was more of a middle of the show type of thing.
Yeah, I think it was all right, but it didn't really wow me.
But I mean, we did have Keenan saying, "I'm going to steal your car, you black bitch."
Yeah,
so I can't totally discount it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, guys, you download that and make that your new ringtone.
Right.
I mean, hell, there you go, right there.
That's just kind of how I'm answering every call now.
Oh God. I mean, I don't know if I'd do that, but Hey.
No, I'm doing it. I'm committed now. I mean, what else can I do but answer every phone call with "I'm going to steal your car, you black bitch"?
It's like, excuse me, sir. This is.
You heard me.
Yeah, you heard me. I'm like, all right, well, yeah. So next up, we got a pre-tape. This one kind of surprised me because I did not expect them to bring back this character, but it's Netflix live promo with comedian Janine Darcy.
I think it's Jeannie
Darcy?
Jeannie Darcy, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and this really surprised me because, this
is one of Molly Shannon's more obscure characters.
It's so obscure. That's why
I think she's done it like once.
I know she did it once on, this is a throwback, on like the Tom Green episode, if I'm not mistaken. And I know it's like a character she really liked and she really was trying to get on, and she only got it on once on that Tom Green episode.
Right.
So for them to bring it back for this, it was,
who is like a sort of late 80s, early 90s stand-up comedian with the fashion sense. It's a very Paula Poundstone looking.
Very.
Like look to her.
Yeah,
she's not really doing a Paula Poundstone impression, but the look seems very Paula Poundstone.
Yeah, like a zoot suit blazer.
Right.
Big perm.
Electric blue.
Yeah.
Jacket. Yeah.
Yeah, like a.
She's got like some sort of
a button, like a boutonniere, not boutonniere.
Not a boutonniere.
I'm not even sure what a boutonniere is.
A boutonniere is like a flower.
Yeah, okay.
This was like some sort of ornament that you put on your jacket, and I forget what those are called.
A pin?
I guess a pin.
Yeah.
We'll call it a pin.
Corsage? I don't know.
Yeah. Now, again, flower.
Okay. I don't know what things are, John.
But yeah, and she has the catchphrase, don't even get me started. Don't even get me started. And
yeah, it's a weird character because it's not high energy at all. It's a very kind of low energy character, and it's also very specific. Like, you kind of have to know that she's making fun of a certain type of stereotype or archetype, like that late 80s comedian talking about her, like, oh, my ex-boyfriend, oh, he's a piece of work, and
don't even get me started.
Yeah, and all the women troubles and whatnot.
And they have that stock catchphrase that they use way too much.
Exactly. Like, you have to know, like, oh, she's making fun of this stereotype to really get it. And I don't
know if it translates for anyone who didn't live through the late 80s, early 90s.
Exactly. I really don't think it does. Like, I really think, like, this sketch was basically for, like, really diehard SNL nerds who understand it or
so us.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And but yeah. So it's basically her having a Netflix special, saying things like
I did like the title, Jeannie Darcy Selective Startage.
Yeah, which caused a play on the Chris Rock special, Selective Outrage.
Right.
And her saying things like, "Am I right, lady friend?" Like, "Oh, have you heard of this thing called TikTok? The only TikTok I hear is my biological clock. Don't even get me started."
Yeah. And then we see a shot of her set list, and it's literally everyone says, "Don't even get me started."
Yeah, and we get a shot of the audience, and there's dead silence.
Yeah, just so many shots of an indifferent audience, which was amusing.
Yeah,
and we also have a couple of impressions in there. We have Punky as Wanda Sykes talking about how Jeannie Darcy was like a trailblazer for lesbian comedians, and then it's pointed out to her that Jeannie is not a lesbian.
It's like, what?
And she's like, wait, what? And then we have Chloe as Sarah Silverman.
Yeah. Not the strongest Sarah Silverman impression.
I thought it was decent. I mean, it was recognizable as Sarah Silverman.
Yeah, you're like, oh my God. Like, that type of thing.
She even gave me her set list. And then that's when we have the shot of the set list.
Yeah. And then we had Ego as Arsenio Hall, which was very...
I must have missed that somehow. I must have been taking notes during that.
Yeah, no, it's the first one. Like, Ego is that as Arsenio Hall, giving her thoughts on...
How did I miss Ego as
It's
Arsenio?
the very first...
I'm going to have to rewatch that.
It's the very first impression.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, like, I mean, overall, I thought this was okay. This was another one I thought was like, all right, I see what they're doing. Like, again, I was probably more surprised than anything that they're...
I was just impressed that they brought back that obscure of a character.
Yeah. That might be it. Like, I was more impressed with them being like putting up this super obscure character. Like, maybe Molly just really wanted to do it.
Yeah.
And then being like, all right, we know not a lot of people are going to get it, but we'll do it just for the few people that will get it. So, like, I mean,
the people who will get it really hard.
Yeah, exactly. I'm more impressed by that than I was by the sketch, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
We
did not get it really hard.
Yeah.
But
don't even.
That sounds dirty. The way I said that.
That sounded pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was salacious.
That's gonna steal your car, you black bitch.
Oh God! Please don't make that your new catchphrase.
No, that's not gonna be my go-to.
I don't have to be like the people. Like, no, he doesn't mean that. It's from a show.
No, hey, you just don't know him.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he's not like this all the time. He's. Hey man, he's cool.
He only steals cars from like half the black bitches that he meets.
He steals cars from white bitches too. He's an equal bitch.
Equal opportunity.
Equal opportunity
bitch car steal.
Yeah, it's okay. It's cool, man. It's cool. Oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah. So next sketch: pregnant coworker.
Pregnant coworker.
I don't think I have any writing credits for this one, unfortunately.
Okay, good. So we got a baby shower at work, and Molly Shannon is the pregnant coworker. She's just about to start her maternity leave. She's getting gifts. She gets a waffle maker, oddly enough, which is just a very random, oddly inappropriate gift for a baby shower, I would think.
Yeah, how's the baby gonna use that.
Yeah, she's like, I thought you could make waffles for you and your baby, which, that's...
Okay.
I mean, even I'm not clueless enough to get a waffle maker
Yeah.
for a baby shower.
I'm no father, but I know babies don't eat waffles.
They should eat waffles.
They should.
Babies would be so much cooler if they ate waffles.
Right? Chicken and waffles? What? Man,
Yeah.
that's a dream.
That's the dream.
Yeah,
and it just seems to be like a normal baby shower. This sketch kind of took forever to get to the turn.
it did take a minute to get there, and like once it got to the turn, I don't know if it was worth it.
I know it wasn't worth it.
Okay.
They got to the turn, and I was like, "What? Seriously? That's it? This is what we're doing?"
Because as it turns out, Molly Shannon is not pregnant. She just has a huge gas bubble in her stomach, and she let loose this long, big, smelly fart, and you can see her pregnant stomach shrink and shrink until
it literally deflates.
Yeah, and then she's like, "Oh no, damn it, not again!"
Yeah,
and everybody, all of her coworkers are confused and shocked. We're like, "Oh wait, no, you just had gas this whole time. Like you weren't pregnant." And you
didn't go to a doctor once.
No,
and then we're just discussing it for the rest. I mean, I was just like, seriously, we're building sketches around fart jokes.
Look, I mean, farts are funny, like they are, but I think this was baffling.
I don't know. I've never been a big one for fart jokes, just because I find them all the same. Because they're all just like, oh, this person farted, ha 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 ha.
Yeah, like Blazing Saddles with the beans and the campfire. Remember that?
I mean that's.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess as fart jokes go, that's one of the better ones. But this one was just like, ugh.
Yeah.
Really?
So it's like all the coworkers are kind of calling out Molly Shannon. It's like, oh, I thought you were pregnant, but you just had gas. And has this happened to you before? She's like, yeah, it's happened. It's like the fourth time this happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then we have Marcelo coming in with Molly's lunch, and she ordered catfish sliders. She chomps those down.
The same thing she orders every day.
Yeah, and then we see the belly inflate again, and she's like, "Oh my God, I'm pregnant again! It's a miracle baby!" And like everybody's like, "No, that's not a baby. Just have gas again." And then she's
like, "Well, at least I can start my 6-month maternity leave." And her boss, who I think was Keenan, if I remember correctly,
yes.
Like, no, your maternity leave ended as soon as you let loose that gigantic fart.
Yeah. And but then I think she farts again, and the stomach goes away. She's like, "Oh, damn it, not again!" And she's like, "Well, at least I can start smoking cigars again." And then she smokes a cigar. Bowen tries to stop her, saying, "No, don't light that!" And she lights it, and the whole building explodes.
Right.
I didn't understand that ending until like this morning when I
really.
Yeah, I don't know
why.
Was
it too highbrow for you?
I don't know what it was. Like the first time I saw it, I was like, wait.
You don't know that methane is flammable?
I don't know why it didn't click with me until
You've never heard of like igniting farts?
I've heard of it, but I don't know why it didn't click with me until I rewatched it this morning. Where it's like, oh.
Had you like been hit on the head shortly before the sketch?
I eat a lot of paint chips.
Okay.
And Hulk not good with words. My brain don't work too well, John.
Okay. I mean, it was like getting close to midnight at this point.
It probably was. Maybe I was just delirious because I was so very tired.
Okay.
And this sketch was
horrible.
Yeah. I can't really defend it.
I just like this is awful. This is like a parody of a bad SNL sketch.
Yeah.
Like if you were doing a movie and you had a fake SNL type show in your movie and you had a sketch to show how bad that show was, this is the type of sketch you would put in your movie.
Yeah, I mean, look, this sketch wasn't, Gen Z Hospital bad, but it was definitely, I don't know. I mean, it seemed like there were moments where they were having fun with it. Like, there was a couple times where, like, Heidi was, like, about to break because of the fart and everything.
Yeah, she seemed kind of amused. I'll tell you something I don't get is, okay, when Molly Shannon first realizes that she is not pregnant, she's like, well, at least I can start drinking again. And she snatches like
Heidi's
glass of champagne.
Right.
And then she starts swinging that. And then her boss is like, you can't drink at work. It's like 11 in the morning.
Right.
But I'm like, but Heidi was literally just drinking that. Why is that okay?
Yeah.
I logically, I was like, okay, I mean, yeah, it's not officially a baby shower anymore, but you didn't start giving Heidi crap about drinking, so why are you giving Molly Shannon crap about drinking? I didn't get that.
Oh shit! I never thought of that. Yeah, that
Yeah.
makes total sense. Yeah,
I question the logic of that.
I mean, there's a lot of logic. I mean, I guess
Yeah.
one thing that don't think about it too hard with the sketch, but yeah, wow, that makes total sense. How come Heidi can drink? But
I don't know. I was just very confused about that for a moment. I was like, what? Wait? Huh?
yeah, but yeah, this I can't find any writing credits for this. I don't know if anybody wants to claim it.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was
I wouldn't.
Ellen Smithy, eh?
This
All right.
one didn't work for me at all.
Yeah, I can't really defend it. I mean, I didn't hate it as much as you did, but
Yeah.
I'm not gonna.
I mean,
defend
I
it.
guess I'm impressed that they got the stomach to inflate and deflate on cue like that. I mean, I guess I'm sort of impressed with it technically.
Yeah, I guess
The
but
costuming was nice.
Yeah, I think it's
It looked like a nice waffle maker.
yeah. There you go. It inspired me to go buy a waffle maker. But yeah, like the turn where it's like, oh, she wasn't pregnant; it was just gas. That's not really.
Yeah.
I don't think that's strong enough
No.
to make a sketch around. And maybe they knew that, so maybe they need to sell it harder or something. But yeah, it was just.
Or maybe not build a sketch around a fart joke.
Oh, just not write a sketch about this at all.
Yeah. I mean, that would be
That's-
my first step to improve this.
Yet another option. Here's a way to improve it. Don't write this sketch.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, so far not off to
I
the
mean,
best.
show us a test pattern for 5 minutes.
Jesus.
Maybe test the emergency broadcast system. I'm just throwing these off the top of my head here.
That would already be better than the Gen T hospital sketch.
Yeah. Wow, that one left a mark for you.
I don't know why, but like every once in a while, I think about that Elon Musk episode. It still shakes me to my core how
I think
bad.
I've already driven most of that out of my head, except for the gif of Elon Musk as Wario, just doing that little strut.
Yeah, God, that episode was terrible.
It really was.
I think I have like PTSD. It's like, wow, that was god awful. That episode.
Yeah.
All right, but all right, never mind. Let's get it out of my head. Let's get it out of my head. New beginnings.
New beginning.
Next pre-tape, PDD. Please don't destroy, boys. I don't know what that was.
I don't know.
It's me singing. Everything's coming up roses.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's the PDD boys back in their office. Molly Shannon comes to visit them, and she says, "Oh, you're playing video games. They're playing video games."
Wait. It's an SNL writing night. I feel like that's something we should mention.
Oh yes, it's an SNL writing night, and they're not writing.
Right.
They're playing video games.
Right.
And they're playing.
Because no, please don't destroy sketches ever take place on an SNL writing night.
Right. This is new. This is new terrain we're doing here.
Right.
Brand new terrain. And Molly's like, "Oh, what video game you guys playing?" And they're playing Molly Shannon 2K23.
Yes.
Which is a video game based on Molly Shannon's life.
Right.
Yeah. And we see them playing, and it's like a video game of Molly Shannon on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon. Mm-hmm. They won a side.
So they're losing the game.
Yeah. Oh, damn. Boom. Oh. Oh, boy. Yeah. So it's them playing a video game of Molly Shannon on The Tonight Show. It's a side quest. They unlocked a funny anecdote, and then that leads them to a NYU commencement speech where they can choose for her to go on a tirade on cancel culture.
Right.
Where they earn turnips, which equal dollars, which is things you can, and with those dollars you can buy things in the Molly Shannon store. And
we find out that this is not just the first Molly Shannon game. There have been Molly Shannon games since like 1995 at least. It's like Madden.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
It's been around for a while, and they really like the game. It's better than Super Mario Batali.
Right. And they hear that Molly Shannon 2K24 is going to be flawless.
Yes, absolutely. So. And and then Molly Shannon's kind of taken aback by all this because she didn't know any of this was happening.
She didn't authorize this. She's not getting any sort of money from it.
Nope.
And then the Please Don't Destroy boys, they get offended. And they're like, well, okay, hey, if you're gonna come down on us like this, we don't even want to do anything with you.
Exactly. And
they leave the room.
They leave the room, and then Molly ends up playing the game like overnight over the whole weekend, and she becomes addicted.
For the next 3 days.
Next 3 days.
Yeah.
Oh, I totally missed that.
So that brings us to Friday, I guess, because
I guess so.
Their writing night is Tuesday, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll just say yes.
Yeah.
And so she's become addicted to the game. She's become a rapper.
Yeah, she's reached a really high level, and she's become a rapper.
Exactly. And then she goes into this little Molly Shannon rap that's kind of reminiscent of like the Lonely Island type of style of rapping, and talking about turnips, and she mentions Mary Catherine Gallagher,
right?
And the PDD boys are impressed by her, and like at one point, John takes a swig of a Gatorade bottle, and Molly Shannon's says, "Oh, that's not Gatorade." Because she's been there for 3 days, so she's been peeing in Gatorade bottles.
Right.
And that's a sketch.
That's the sketch. Not as strong as Please Don't Destroy's usual stuff, I thought. I kind of like the concept, but yeah, I like the concept more than the execution, I guess.
Yeah, I would agree with that too. Like usually PDD kind of hits it out the park. This one, yeah, the concept is interesting, but I don't know if it
it was just a fair to middling for me.
Yeah, like usually they do like a very like rapid pace type of style with their sketches.
This was a little slower than their usual stuff.
Yeah, it was a little bit slower, and the jokes really weren't quite there. Like the fact that they chose turnips as a thing for dollars, I was like, well, why turnips? That's so random.
It was very random. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. So I don't know. I thought this I wouldn't say it's a total miss, but it definitely was
slightly disappointing, mildly disappointing.
Yes, absolutely.
It's like a B- of a sketch.
I might even say C.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's right. C.
Whew.
I said it. I'm
Laying
tough
down
but
the
fair.
law. Okay.
Yay. Hey, I
right.
called it as I see it.
Okay.
I'm just being honest, bro.
All right. Darren Patterson slinging the truth bombs.
That's right. Tell it like it is. What's up? If you can't deal with it, bro, then have at me.
Next, we have the play, which we have Devin and Heidi at the premiere of Heidi's new play that she's written. It's an autobiographical play.
So it's them sitting in the audience, and also at one point we see Michael Longfellow talking to Heidi, who's the playwright, saying, "Hey, I'm a big fan of your work. I've seen all your plays. You're amazing."
Yeah.
That comes into play later, but we'll get there.
Foreshadowing. It's an autobiographical play. We have Molly Shannon playing Heidi, essentially. Mm-hmm. And she talks about how she's called off her wedding, and then she starts the Year of 1,000 Men, which is pretty much what it sounds like. She's trying to hook up with 1,000 men over the course of a year. And Devin does some quick math, and he says, that's more than 2 a day.
She crunched the numbers. That's like, 2.5 dudes a day.
Yeah.
And, so then basically the play is all about how she just hooked up with a lot of dudes, from finance bros with perfect abs to, Brooklyn hipster artists with uncut dongs.
Yep.
Yeah.
Paints a word picture, doesn't it?
Really does. A lot of turtleneck sweaters out there.
And then finally, there was the one, her ex Trevor, a.k.a. the one who got away. And Trevor comes out, played by a Jonas brother.
That was Nick Jonas.
It was Nick? I thought it was Joe.
No, I wrote down Nick. I think somebody wrote it on the Twitter.
Okay, I'm not going to pretend that I can tell which Jonas brother is which, because I was a full grown-ass man when the Jonas brothers first became a thing.
Don't act like you don't have posters of the Jonas brothers on your wall.
I know one is named Nick. I know one is named Joe. I think they said the other one's name was Kevin over the course of this show.
I think so. See, I don't.
I know because they repeated the names. If I did not, I could have named Joe, I think or maybe Nick.
I'll look it up. I'm pretty sure it's Nick, Joe, and Kevin.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But yeah. So it's basically, and during his play talking about how she hooked up with all these dudes. Nick Jonas was the one that got away.
Yeah.
And then
Which, a reminder, once again, Devin playing her current boyfriend.
Yeah. Devin's basically like the, I guess the Kyle Mooney or the Mikey Day of the sketch. That's like the cuck where he
I guess so.
He has to like kind of sit there and take it while
just be emasculated for the whole sketch.
Yup.
And then we have finally the 1000th man, and it's Keenan playing a schlubby version of Devin.
Yeah.
Who's playing him like as a nerd to the nth degree.
Yes, and of course this is where Miles like, oh, I met this guy. I said, we had sex and it was the most depressing thing ever. And
very disappointing sex.
Yes.
And Heidi at this point is making justification, saying like, "Hey, this isn't like literally me. This is exaggerated. It's not
loosely based.
Loosely based." And then the people on stage are like, "This is 100% what happened to me. This is totally truthful. No exaggeration."
Right. Exactly.
And here's how disappointing sex with Devin Walker was.
Right. And then the ending comes where she talks about on stage, Molly, who's playing Heidi, saying, and then I met the 101st guy.
Yeah.
And
1001st.
1001st, exactly.
Yeah.
And then we have Andrew Dismukes coming out dressed as the guy who just complimented Heidi earlier in the sketch.
Yeah, 5 minutes ago.
5 minutes ago. And Devin's like, wait a minute, isn't that the guy who complimented you 5 minutes ago? And then he turns to Heidi and
he's making out with Michael Longfellow.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
That little detail I liked.
Uh-huh.
I thought it was like, oh, that's cool. There's a little foreshadowing into this little future thing. The rest of the sketch,
didn't do much for me. I think I would have liked it if it went a little bigger in the last gag of, like, I mean, I like Andrew Dismukes playing the guy that she had met just 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
But I wish it had been bigger, like, and then we hooked up in the bathroom or something like that.
Yeah.
Or, and then we started a whole new life in the suburbs, or,
Yeah.
little did I know that I would be dumping my boyfriend in the next 10 minutes or something like that. I wish they'd gone a little bigger with it.
I think that was the issue. I think it needed to go bigger. I think the escalation needed to be a little bit more. It didn't really, it just didn't go as far as it should have been to really hit. It just kind of petered and meandered along, and the jokes weren't as strong. But I did like that little thing where it turns out the guy that complimented her in the beginning would be the guy that he hooked up at the end. I was like, oh, that's a nice little thing, because I totally forgot.
I think that was the best thing.
Yeah, because I totally forgot about Longfellow's character till the end. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought that was like a smart thing. But yeah, for the rest of the sketch, I was like, it's not quite there.
Yeah.
And this sketch was written by Jimmy Fowley, Martin Hurley, John Higgins, Ben Marshall, Sierra O'Sullivan. Again, a lot of people to make to
mildly entertain us.
Yes. Speaking of mildly entertaining, the Jonas Brothers.
They did their first number, Waffle House, which it was fine. It was an inoffensive poppy thing.
Yeah.
I've already forgotten how the song goes.
It's fine, radio friendly, catchy, boppy pop music that you'll probably hear in a Target ad or something.
Yeah. I listened to it. I didn't hate it. It was like, a little under 3 minutes.
Yep. It got the job done.
It was never explained why one of the Jonas Brothers was wearing a cowboy hat in their promo pics.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why they do this, where it seemed to be going this sort of country. They're from Jersey.
Yeah.
But they're going like this whole, like, oh, we're from the Midwest, down south type of vibe.
I don't know. I didn't get a big country vibe from their music, which is why the cowboy hat kind of confused me.
Yeah.
He wasn't wearing it while they're performing the number, just in their promo photos.
Okay. Yeah, and also, I mean, it's called, the song's called Waffle House, and there are no Waffle Houses in the tri-state area. So I was like, oh, are they just trying to go for that, middle America type of vibe? They're trying to hide the fact that they're from New Jersey?
I don't know. It was just very strange.
Yeah. And, all right. So, yeah, that song was okay. And then the second song, Walls, which
Walls.
they got Kirk Franklin to be in this thing, which kind of surprised me. And like for those who don't know, Kirk Franklin is a bit of a big deal in the gospel music world. He's like, I was telling Trumbull earlier before we recorded, like he's kind of like the P Diddy
Yeah.
of the gospel, because he's like a gospel director, a choir director rather, and like he's a big presence, the big personality. He does like songwriting and I believe some producing as well. But like in the world of gospel music, he's super well known. To see him there with the choir in the background was like kind of surprising. It was like, oh, all right, Jonas Brothers is hooking up with the brothers meaning black people.
No, I got it.
You're staring at me.
I got it.
I don't know.
Well, you were just like sort of petering off.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, and so like, and I will admit, like on the last song, "Walls," it seemed like they were trying to go bigger and trying to like really hit those high notes. And
yeah, the last song didn't really do much of anything for me.
It's
like they seem to think their hook for that was much more impressive than it was. And it just got very repetitive, I thought.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. And they also kind of do this thing. I notice a lot of bands do this. Like when they get to a certain point in their career, they have like gospel choirs.
They got the big chorus of people.
Yeah, I've seen that so many times. Like I don't know if that's to make their music sound more, big and important and godly than it is. But I have noticed maybe I have noticed a lot of bands do that. It's like we're at this point in our careers. We need to show people we mean business. We need a gospel choir to get behind us to show we're going to that next level. And it's like, are you?
Do you?
Do you?
Do you need that?
Do you? Maybe just make better music. How about? All right, I don't know where all this is coming from. I'm sorry. I don't even know where all this is coming from. I'm taking unnecessary shots at
again. Dead inside.
Yes, the Jonas Brothers. They're fine.
Yeah, they're fine.
Yeah.
Inoffensive is the main word I
say.
I saw them on Day Drinking on Seth Meyers' show, and they seemed very nice. They seemed like very nice people. And
Now I feel like a jerk for taking shots, but they're fine. They're inoffensive. They're just
not our personal thing.
Yeah, exactly. They're no Jack White.
We didn't grow up with them, so we have no particular nostalgic affection.
We have no
them.
allegiance.
I'm just like, oh yeah, I remember when they were the thing, and I understand they broke up for a while and then they got back together.
Yeah, exactly. They were doing solo stuff, and now they're back. Like, we were grown ass men when they became the big thing. So we have no ties to the Jonas Brothers.
We do not.
That's right. Next up, weekend update. Colin Jost, Michael Che. No pranks this week.
Sadly,
unfortunately.
No.
It would be funny if Che did double down and make another prank, but like,
he's got something else cooking up for the end of the season, though.
Yeah.
Only a couple months away.
Excellent. I'll bide my time.
Lull him into a false sense of security, then finish him.
Then I'll strike.
We're looking forward to the end of the season, guys.
Yes, it's going to be quite the hoot. Not bad weekend update. Some pretty solid jokes. Talking about Trump's indictment, of course. I think there was one joke where they were talking about how Trump says that there's been since his indictment, there's been a dark cloud hanging over our country, which is, of course, what Trump used to call Obama.
Mm-hmm. Good joke. I liked Jost was talking about how even the courtroom sketch artist apparently seems to hate Trump because it was animated like the mud monster from Scooby-Doo.
I still say that's a pretty sharp likeness of Trump. I've seen that drawing. It's like, that's him.
Yeah.
He's a mud monster.
Yeah.
Well, hey, that's just how he looks, man. I like the joke about Jost tells about how King Charles found out his ancestors have ties to a slave trading company. It's like, it's called England.
Yeah.
Nice.
Boom, England, you just got served.
Yeah. Oh, and of course, there was one strong joke that I really liked that Che said, where he talked about how the Pope talked about sex and how the Pope said sex is one of the most beautiful things God has given to the human person. And of course, Che was like, well, not the way I do it. Am I right?
and then they cut back to Justin. Justin's like, I don't know if you're right. I don't. Yeah.
And like, wait, last one, and that'll be it. Like, there was
Okay.
one where Che talks about this YouTube prankster who got shot for pranking somebody in a mall, and Che just said, "Good."
And then immediately moves on to that was brilliant.
That was pretty.
That was brilliant. I liked they talked about Harlan Crow, who is like this, I guess, patron we could call him of Clarence Thomas.
Yeah.
Like this story came out this week that Clarence Thomas and his wife have taken a lot of vacations paid for by this guy who's this huge Republican donor.
Yeah.
And they said that he was like the whitest guy with the blackest name.
Yeah.
Which was a good line. And then they said like he it's come out that he is a collector of Hitler memorabilia and has a signed copy of Mein Kampf. Okay, first off, I didn't even know there were signed copies of Mein Kampf.
Same thing. Like,
was Hitler doing a book tour? Was he doing like appearances at his local Barnes and Noble? How do you get a signed copy of Mein Kampf?
that blows my mind. Like
this is a thing that I did not know existed. This is why I thought that joke in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade was funny, where Indiana Jones and his dad are at the book burning in Germany.
Right.
And then like he's trying to get away because they just recovered the Grail diary, and then the crowd like pushes Indiana Jones like and then suddenly he's face to face with Hitler, and Hitler like signs the Grail diary and then hands it back to Indiana Jones and lets him go.
Oh wow, I barely remember.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've seen Indiana Jones. With Last Crusade, that was
Last Crusade. Yes,
I got to watch it again.
Yeah, it's a cute jack.
Okay.
So Indiana Jones has a Grail diary signed by Hitler.
Wow.
But
I didn't know he was going on a book tour. Who knew?
Yeah,
It's like, oh, hello, Seattle. How are you? Yes. One line over here, please.
I think it's safe to say that if you have a signed copy of Mein Kampf, you are not a good person. You are just straight up a horrible, horrible garbage person.
You can't be like, oh no, I'm just I'm just a big collector.
I like the iconography.
I like the fonts.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of everything Hitler did, but
oh God, I don't want to hear the rest of that sentence. Whatever you say, I don't want to hear the rest of it. But yeah, like that was, oh boy.
That was, that kind of, I'd heard that this person was a collector of Nazi memorabilia. I'd heard that, and I was like, well, that doesn't sound good.
No.
I hadn't heard about having a signed copy of Mein Kampf.
Yikes.
I'm just like, yikes. Wow. Holy shit.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, and he's buddies with somebody who's on the Supreme Court.
A black man on the Supreme Court who's married to a white woman, which, let me check my notes. I think Hitler would not be okay with that.
Yeah, what a weird, terrible world we live in.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And will anything happen to Clarence Thomas? Probably not.
Yeah. It's
Probably not, because why should there?
Consequences, schmonsequences, whatever.
What the? I don't.
I
don't want to live in this world anymore.
Oh,
can
Jesus
I
Christ.
can I transfer over to like some parallel universe or something?
Yes. If anybody knows how we can go into an alternate dimension, please let us know.
Right.
Tweet at us.
Even if it's like the mirror universe from Star Trek.
Yes.
I feel like that would still make more sense.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if anybody has like a butterfly effect thing we can do and
right.
go into another.
If you know of an ion storm, I can hitch a ride on, and then
Yes. If anybody has access to the multiverse, please let us know.
Right.
Tweet at us, hit us up on Instagram. Just just let us know. We'll have our bags packed by the end of the week, and we'll just
100%.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, that's a dream.
We also had some death segments. We had Bowen as Jafar from Aladdin, talking about Ron DeSantis and his whole war with Disney down in Florida.
Yeah, that's because the Don't Say Gay law.
Right.
And just everything that DeSantis is trying to do. He's the tyrant of Florida and just a horrible person.
So DeSantis is trying to make things tougher for Disney, and Disney brings a lot of revenue into the state of Florida.
Yeah. And but yeah, I mean,
it's a whole mess.
it's really bizarre and gross, and it's just yuck. But yeah, but the way Bowen attacks it as him coming in as Jafar from Aladdin,
Right.
that's a choice. That's a choice.
I liked it. I mean, I
did too.
I also liked how he just talked about how he the character of Jafar is gay, and Shay's like, "Wait, you're gay?" And he's like, "Yeah, my final form is a yoked genie with amazing abs, but yeah, I'm straight."
Yeah, I do enjoy that. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
And
Well,
they actually showed that, still from Aladdin.
right. You need a visual for something like that.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. I mean, I want to see the yoked genie.
Yeah, exactly. And I do enjoy how. I mean, for one thing, it's a pretty decent impression of Jafar. What he's
And
doing.
I mean, they nailed the look.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And how he talks about how gays and Disney go together hand in hand. Like Ursula is a lesbian and
Right.
Scar is bi.
Right.
Mulan has had top surgery.
and they point out how Ron DeSantis apparently got married at Disney, and they say that which is the gayest thing you can do.
I didn't even know. I had to look that up to see if it was true. I think
assume it is.
yeah. What? I didn't know.
Let me do some quick Googling.
I mean, I didn't even know Disney World you can get married. I would assume you could, but like that's not
Ron
even.
DeSantis married at Disney. Click.
I didn't even know they had wedding chapels in Disney World and catering halls.
Oh wait, hang
that
on.
that does make sense.
All right, I'm gonna. Okay, he's. I've got photos of his wedding. He's in a naval uniform, which already seems kind of gay.
YMCA.
Yeah, it seems very Village People.
Young man.
He was better looking as a young person than I would have guessed.
Yeah, hate makes you ugly.
Um,
but
not seeing anything about it actually happening at Disney. So maybe.
yeah.
Maybe. Oh no! Wait. Okay. Orlando Weekly. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis was married at Walt Disney World. That is true.
Wow.
So.
It is what so. He's going to war with the place he had his wedding at.
That seems weird.
It does.
They were wed by a Catholic priest at the Grand Floridian.
Ooh.
All
right.
They chose the venue because Casey DeSantis wanted something all inclusive and put together.
Okay.
I don't really know what that means.
So
but
the exact
okay.
opposite of Ron DeSantis.
Yeah. So
he is not all inclusive, and he is not.
Yeah.
Put
So you wanted your wedding to be as inclusive as possible.
Do you not see the irony, Mr. DeSantis? Okay.
So we're gonna move on.
Let's talk about Angel Reese. Punky Johnson comes out as Angel Reese, the controversial basketball player whose team LSU just won the women's NCAA. She kind of came under a little fire for doing a little taunting, a little mocking of the losing team. They were playing University of Iowa.
Right.
And like she did like the little hand in the face thing, like y'all can't see me, like the John Cena thing. And pointing to her finger, her ring finger, saying, "Oh, this is where the ring is gonna go because we won, and y'all motherfuckers lost," type of thing.
See, that just seems rude.
It does. But then, like from what I've seen, like she kind of got some of that too from a previous game where somebody did the hand in the face thing too, and no one seemed to be all up in arms about that.
So it's a bit of a double standard going on.
Bit of a double standard. And so also,
was it because they were white?
That's hey, your words, not mine, my friend. And so and as it turns,
because they were white.
and it turns out that now the LSU team got invited to the White House, and the Iowa team got invited. So it's the winning and the losing team, which is
I don't get that.
That's bizarre. I'm still not 100% sure with it. I think Jill Biden had a hand in that thing.
See, I would get that if like maybe Joe Biden came from Iowa, but he is not from Iowa.
He's a Delaware, Pennsylvania boy.
Right. So I don't get the rationale of inviting both teams.
It's odd. But I don't know. It's a little interesting. So yeah, so that's basically the premise of where Punky is coming from with this impression. Of course, she comes out saying about how now I guess before they wrote this, like she had refused to come to the White House with her team, but now I saw recently that she says she will go to the White House with their team. So I guess
This is so much backstory.
I know.
This is so much
I'm
backstory.
I'm done. That's it. That's it. That's all.
And I think this is why this death segment didn't entirely work for me, because this wasn't a story I was familiar with, because sports. And so I was kind of playing catch up through this. I was like, wait, what's going on? Why? Who is this person, and why are they?
Yeah, it's one of those things.
yeah.
Like she was trending online, and unless you are online a lot and just following trending topics, you wouldn't know about it. So it's one of those sketches where they have to kind of explain it and wrap up everything in like a sentence or two before they get into the sketch. And even then, you're like, once they do that, you kind of
it's a lot to unpack.
Yeah, so you have to like kind of wrap your mind around exactly what this is going to be, and then you got to get into it and the jokes. And it's a lot for a lot of people.
So this didn't entirely work for me. I think largely just because I was obviously not the target demographic for this.
Right. Yeah.
Because it's not a story I followed or cared about, and that was not going to change over the course of this.
Right. No, I get
a death segment.
Yeah, I get it. Like, I think it's one of the things where I think Punky really wanted to do it because she's from New Orleans, Louisiana, and so it's her team, so she has a little, kinship there. So she really wanted to do it, but yeah, she just kind of talked about how her playing Angel Reese is gonna like cash in on all this fame she's getting now, and how like everybody thought women's sports was boring, and now everybody's talking about it. So now she's able to use her brand to promote other things like Degree deodorant, Degree, y'all stink, and of course her character has big old eyelashes, so she'd be like big ass eyelashes, and then they did a little snuffleupagus mention in there.
I mean, I do enjoy random snuffleupagus mentions because it makes me because I'm a child of the '70s.
Right.
I'm a Sesame Street kid,
of course,
and it gives me like the nostalgic warm fuzzies to mention Snuffleupagus.
Yeah, I always liked how whenever Snuffleupagus would walk in, they'd have that like he'd have his own background music. That wampa wampa wampa.
Right.
It's like he's got his own theme song.
And then he'd leave before anybody else saw him. Like,
yeah.
Do you remember like back in the day, like when Big Bird was the only one who could see him?
Yeah.
And then I understand they changed that years later for an excellent reason, because they said they wanted to. Kids to know that if they told adults something, the adults would believe them.
Right.
And I'm like, well, that's the best possible reason to change that. I still like feel weird about it because it's not how it was when I was a kid. But
yeah, because we were growing up with like
adults did not believe us.
No, of course not. But like and then like Big Bird would talk to Snuffleupagus, and Snuffy would leave. Then Big Bird would be like, "Oh, I just saw Snuffleupagus," and
everyone's like, "Sure, Big Bird."
Yeah,
everybody thought it was his imaginary friend.
Yeah, everybody thought Big Bird was delusional.
Right.
He just he had like a mental breakdown or something.
Right, and this is what entertained us as Gen Xers.
It's like, ha ha.
He's not believed by his friends and family.
He's losing it. Ho, ho, ho. But yeah, Angel Reese.
Angel Reese.
It was okay segment. Pretty short, less than 3 minutes. Didn't really bug me or bother me. And then next up we have Heidi Gardner coming in as the coworker who's extremely busy doing seemingly nothing.
Yeah.
Basically their way into it was them saying that more offices want people come back to work in the office instead of doing.
Boo!
Yeah, fuck that noise. And so they introduced this new character Heidi has as like somebody who's extremely busy, doing seemingly nothing. And Heidi comes in, just tons of papers, big old water jug, and just looking frazzled and flustered and like, oh my god,
her cell phone is blowing up. She stops to eat a salad, which is like the first meal she's had that's not on a toilet in months. And then she has another cell phone in her salad, which I liked.
Yeah, that was a nice little gag. And then, of course, like salad just flying everywhere. At some point, she just throws her phone across the desk. And be like, oh God, I can't even. And it's just that's kind of, it's a very simple sketch. This is basically her being flustered and also Colin Jost trying to ask her what she does for a living, where does she work,
Given all sorts of vague answers. And
Yeah.
just, dodging the question.
yeah, exactly, where do you work? Oh, in the weeds, Colin. Oh,
Yeah.
God. And like her just being very flustered and just out of her mind. And then it finally ends with Colin just saying, just tell me, what do you do for a living? And then her breaking down saying, I'm Che's assistant.
Haha.
Haha. Yeah.
I don't know if that's a big enough reveal.
It's really not.
Maybe if it went into like what being Che's assistant entails.
Yeah, like cleaning his sneakers or something.
I don't know. Yeah, that might have been funny.
Washing his fitted baseball caps or something like that.
Yeah.
Keeping
Something involving his bitches.
his black. Wow, we were going back to his black bitch thing.
I was going to go back to the black bitch thing.
That was on me. I dug that back up.
Yeah, no, you made it racial.
That was me. Wow, this is a racial episode. Jeez Louise. Oh my God. But yeah, overall, not bad. It seemed like Heidi was having a lot of fun with this character.
Yeah, she was throwing herself into it.
I don't know if it was as strong. Her strongest death segment, it really wasn't.
No.
And the punchline really wasn't quite there to sort of justify it, but she had fun.
Yeah. And really, isn't that what's most important?
Yeah. Are you having a good time? Great.
Yeah.
We'll just sit here and wait to be entertained.
Also, I just want to say they had one joke. This was like between death segments. They were talking about a Jeopardy contestant who I think was like driven off the show because people were making so many jokes about his mustache, saying he had a Hitler mustache.
Right.
And they showed a picture of the guy. He did not have a Hitler mustache. It was a mustache that was going out to like the ends of his lips.
If anything, it was kind of like Paul McCartney when he was going through his Magical Mystery Tour phase, or his, Sgt. Pepper phase.
I mean, because Hitler mustache, not wider than the nose itself.
Yeah, high and tight.
Right. It's a short, just a little thing, and like Charlie Chaplin or J. Jonah Jameson.
Of course, the trifecta.
Yeah, the three most evil men in history. Charlie Chaplin knows what he did.
Yeah, exactly. He knows his crimes.
Right. And,
trying to get pictures of Spider-Man.
Right.
As we all know.
As Hitler did.
Of course.
And then people were like, no, Hitler, we can't give you pictures of Spider-Man.
9!
It is 1941. Spider-Man does not exist yet.
I want pictures of Spider-Man! I will have it! Wow, the sound really blew out the speakers on that.
Yeah. So, I mean, the guy did have a Hitler hairstyle.
Yeah, it was like
he had that, the comb over, kind of slick down thing where it's going down in the diagonal thing,
almost like emo.
So I got the emo Phillips.
No, not just emo, like 80s emo.
Oh, okay, all right.
Emo. That's where your mind goes when you first hear emo.
Well, sure.
Fair.
All right.
But not.
So I get the Hitler comparison, but not with the mustache.
No,
he did not have a Hitler mustache.
No, you got this one wrong, Internet.
I mean, if you have that hairstyle, you probably should absolutely not have a mustache. I think that's just a good rule for life.
Yeah, exactly.
In addition to not having that hairstyle in the first place. But
just go to Lemon Tree or something. Get it shaped up.
Yeah, go to a Supercuts. Are Supercuts still a thing?
I want to say yes, but I can't.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to think of all those old school passe haircutting places that are maybe not around it. Like Lemon Tree. Maybe get a.
I don't think I've heard of Lemon Tree. Are they like a regional thing?
I think so. I think it's only tri-state. Maybe get a Flowbee. Get your haircut there.
Sure.
Remember those things? Remember Flowbee, guys?
Yeah.
Probably not. You're world.
Yeah.
But
there's a joke in Wayne's World about Flowbee.
Yeah. That's right. The vacuum cleaner that you cut your hair.
Right.
Of course, because we thought that was safe.
Because how could that go wrong?
Yeah.
Ever.
How could this possibly go wrong? Just attach this to your melon, cut your hair. It'll be great.
It'll be great.
Oh, yeah. Weekend update.
That was weekend update. A decent weekend update. Certainly not as good as last week.
Certainly not.
I mean, how could it be?
Yeah,
last week was epic.
That was probably one for the ages. That prank. I mean, my God.
Yeah.
That was a home run in one.
It was amazing.
Next up, drug commercial.
Drug commercial. Speaking of amazing. and things that were not.
There it is.
Drug commercial. This had Andrew Dismukes. He's directing a drug commercial featuring Molly Shannon, Molly Carney, and Ego, and they're advertising a project. Their project is advertising a product.
Nice save.
Save that one.
Yeah.
Woo! Called The Jerded.
Yeah. So it's Molly being very excited about this product. Mm-hmm. And her singing a little song, and it's the first half of the sketch seems to be a play. The main joke seems to be that the product is called Vajerded, which is a kind of funny name.
It's a vaginal thing. It's inserted.
Yes,
Vajerded. It's a yeah.
Get it?
Yeah.
So they do one take. After that first take, Molly talks to the director saying, yeah, I'm really excited about this, but it seems like the background dancers, Molly and Ego, aren't doing as well as I'd like them to be, so maybe we should do another take because we'd hate for this commercial to come out bad because the dancers are mid.
Yeah.
So then they do another take.
You're like, oh, this is a sketch about Molly Shannon being a monstrous bitch.
Yes, this exactly.
With occasional vaginal jokes.
Yes. But it's not, because as they do their second take, out of seemingly nowhere, Keenan comes in and does that little, drug
Keenan thing.
That Keenan thing, that little drug warning thing, talking about Vajerdid, but he's calling it Vajayjay, and he's saying, ask your doctor if Vajayjay is right for you. If he says no, find another doctor. Don't use Vajayjay if you're allergic to Vajayjay. And Vajayjay should not be taken orally, even though it tastes really, really good.
And it'll get you buzzed and leave you with no hangover.
Exactly.
And
then the dancers are confused by that, saying, why is he calling it Vajayjay? But Molly doesn't seem to have a problem with that. She seems to have more of a problem with the dancers, again, still calling them really bad dancers.
And the dancers get annoyed and they walk off, and then Keenan is like, hey, I'll be the backup dancer.
Yeah, and then they dance and sing Vajayjay instead of Vajerdid.
Just weird.
Yeah, it just seems like it was two separate ideas, both not really strong enough for a full sketch. So they kind of Frankensteined them together to make one sketch, and it still wasn't that strong.
And so we were left with this weird hybrid sketch that's like an abomination to nature.
Yes, exactly.
It's like this mutant child that you give up for adoption.
It's the Elephant Man of sketches.
Yeah, because you have no love in your heart for this hideously deformed freak.
We're really taking a dark turn here.
Yeah.
Happy Easter. It's because you think the focus is going to be on Molly being upset with the dancers, but then the focus totally switches to Keenan and his calling it Vajayjay.
And it's not a especially funny thing.
Yeah, so it's like, all right, so where is the focus? What?
It literally feels like they were halfway through writing the sketch. They got stuck, and they were like, what can we have happen next? They said, oh, I know, let's have Keenan come in. That never fails, even though it fails so often. It fails like a good 50% of the time.
Yeah,
I don't get why this is still their go-to.
I mean, I feel like they think Keenan, and he can be it from time to time. Like, he's charming enough to pull some laughs out of a sketch, even though logically the sketch isn't that strong.
Right.
So you're kind of getting off on his charm more than the sketch actually being good. So again, it's like two weak ideas coming together
to form one super weak idea.
Yes,
it is the Voltron of weak ideas.
With our powers combined, Captain. Idea.
I just.
It's
it just didn't really work.
It didn't work. It's kind of forgettable. It is forgettable, not kind of.
What are we even talking about?
Sally O'Malley. That's what we're
Sally
talking
O'Malley.
Recurring.
Speaking of forgettable.
Wow. We're full of piss and vinegar this episode.
Well, I mean, were you a big Sally O'Malley fan? Like ever?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, again, it's another one of those characters that just gets off on, or just gets by rather, on the energy that Molly brings to it. There's not much to it. It's just like, she dresses up
I'm
in
50. I like to kick and
stretch.
and I'm 50. And I got it the first time. I honestly don't even know if Sally O'Malley ever really needed to be a recurring character.
I think it's one of those characters people just really like because the energy that she brings to it. But
for me, I was never like, oh, great, it's Sally O'Malley. I was just like, oh, she's doing this again.
Yeah. Well,
and this is the thing I remember.
Yeah.
But it's not a character I ever had much affection for, I would say.
Yeah, I think maybe at this point she kind of gets by off of nostalgia. But yeah, let's get into the sketch, actually, because in this sketch, so it starts off with Chloe and Bowen are the Jonas Brothers choreographers.
Right.
And they're practicing and doing rehearsals with the backup dancers. Keenan comes in as the Jonas Brothers manager saying, hey, the boys are more mature now. They're older. They want to get away from that teeny bopper stuff and have a more mature sound. So they want to get a more older, mature choreographer, a more mature stage act. And as soon as I heard...
summarizing the hell out of this.
Yeah, and as soon as they said more mature...
You're killing this.
Right?
Yeah.
Bam. As soon as they said more mature stage act, I was like, oh, wait a minute. Mature stage act. Molly Shannon. Could it be? And
it is. Yeah,
and it is.
It's Sally O'Malley.
Sally O'Malley comes in, bright red suit, always carrying her leopard print purse over her shoulder. She likes to kick and stretch and kick. She's 50.
What I found interesting was like when this sketch was playing out, I was like, this might be the first time that Molly Shannon has been playing this character where she's playing younger than her actual age.
Yeah.
This is probably the first time she's played this character over 50.
Yeah, Molly Shannon is 58 in real life. We looked it up.
Yeah.
And now she... But I think that makes it funnier.
Honestly, older than I thought she was.
Yeah, no.
I was thinking she had to be like early 50s or something. But
she's a woman of a certain age.
Yeah.
But but it is kind of funnier that way because like maybe she just tells everybody she's 50 even...
Yeah.
Back then, she just said 50, so even now, her saying 50.
I have a vague memory of reading an interview with Molly Shannon where she was saying, like, she looks back on it and she's like, why did I make the character 50? Because, like, when I made up the character, like, in my 20s or early 30s,
right.
I thought 50 was as old as I could think of. I thought that was unimaginably old.
Who lives to 50?
Yeah, and now I'm just like, why did I do 50? That's, like, way too young.
The folly of youth.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's Sally O'Malley. She's a choo-choo Charlie and a class act. And I think probably one of the biggest laughs she gets is when she does that thing where she hikes up her pants and she has...
It's getting very tight around the crotch area.
I believe the kids call it camel toe.
Yes.
It's very visible. And you can even see how visible it is.
She had to be wearing some sort of
prosthetic
apparatus underneath her outfit to give her that.
Right, that can't be all...
It's very prominent.
All natural, yeah, because even...
It's getting Chloe a little bit.
Yeah, you can, like, both Chloe and Bowen, if you look in the background during that set, they're both like, oh my... like
they are losing it a
bit.
bit.
Actually shocked.
And Bowen is like, every life choice I have made has been in effort to not see that.
Yeah, I think at one point Chloe, like, genuinely hides her face, her mouth with her hands.
Away from
she's
camera,
like, oh my God, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, yeah.
It's an eyeful.
Yeah.
And so...
It's an education.
It's an education. Yeah, it's a health ed class.
Yeah.
So the Bowen is like, I don't understand what she brings to the table that we don't bring. And then we have the Jonas Brothers coming in.
Bring in the real live Jonas Brothers.
Yes. Neil, Calvin, and John.
Yes. Those are their names.
Yeah,
right?
sure. And of course they're like
I knew that one was named Joe.
Yes.
And I vaguely knew that one was named Nick. I don't think I could have named the third one with a gun to my head. And apparently he's named Kevin.
He is Kevin, yes.
He is named Kevin.
Exactly.
But I did not realize that until they said it. Because, again, we were full-ass grown men when the Jonas Brothers first became a thing.
We were grown-ass men doing grown-ass things. That sounded...
We were grown-ass men still doing adolescent things.
Oh, wow. How did you know? Wow, yeah, I guess I was.
Because I'm me and you're you. That is how I knew. Because we are men in our 40s and 50s now.
Yes.
And we are still doing relatively adolescent things.
Fair.
Yeah.
That's a fair point.
We have opinions on Spider-Man.
Yes. Oh, we do. Don't even get me started. So at this point, the Jonas Brothers say they stand by Sally O'Malley, and they're dedicated to her, and they're so dedicated they rip off their clothes, and they're all wearing the bright red, stretchy leotards. The audience goes nuts because it's full of Jonas Brothers fans.
Right.
And, of course, they do the stretch and the kick and the stretch.
Yeah.
And then it kind of peters out, right?
It kind of peters out because it is still an SNL sketch.
Yeah.
And how else are we going to end it other than it petering out?
Yeah.
Have a big joke at the end? No.
Yeah, pshaw. I think it ends with them saying they're going to stretch and kick and jump. And that leads to Sally firing I think it was Nick that said it, but he called him Calvin. And then she becomes the third Jonas Brother
Right,
member.
and then we cut to a headline.
A newspaper headline. Which they've been doing that since the 80s. I'm still like...
Since they got that graphics package.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to keep doing that.
I was like, newspaper? Who even reads those anymore? And that's the sketch. I'd be lying if I said I didn't get a kick out of it. I kind of did, but I genuinely think it's just because of the nostalgia factor. It's like, oh, yeah, I remember that. And, seeing Chloe and Bowen break over
that was fun.
That was fun. So
I enjoyed that part of it.
It's not a strong sketch. I'll admit that.
I was not clamoring to see Sally O'Malley back, although I was kind of half expecting to see her. So
I
wouldn't say it was like a surprise.
I think more people were kind of expecting Mary Catherine Gallagher.
But she did that the first time she hosted, as I recall. So
did she?
I think she did.
Oh, it's been a minute.
Who can remember? It's been 16 years. Good God.
It's been 84 years.
I don't know. I mean, that's like, I think I was actually an adolescent then. No, I was in my 30s.
Yes. Oh, boy. So Sally O'Malley.
Fuck, I'm old.
Yes, final sketch of the night. CNN.
CNN app is what this is called on the YouTube. But yes, it's advertising a app called CN Zen for all these people who are super stressed about the Trump reign and just all the everything.
Yes, all the everything.
Because we live in a hellscape.
Yes, of course. Everything's on fire.
Right.
And it's basically about that. It's basically people who are stressed out over the Trump indictment, people hearing that the case is going to be weak and he's not going to do any jail time. They need something to calm them down. A lot of people whose entire personality is based on hating Trump, so they need something that'll keep them calm and reassured. So CN Zen, which is a meditation app of a lot of the CNN personalities like Anderson Cooper, Van Jones, Dana Bash, Wolf Blitzer, Maggie Haberman, talking about, reassuring them that, his motorcade wasn't even that big, and doing Trump ASMR.
Right.
And, he will face consequences, and, just easing the people who are stressed out about Trump's, just giving them some relaxation.
Right.
Type of thing.
Right. Cool concept.
Yeah, I like the concept. I think the concept's
cool
great.
Concept. We got to see Sarah as Wolf Blitzer, which I got a big kick out of.
That was interesting.
That was cool. We should see that happen more often.
Yeah, her saying, "Oh, Trump was alone with no family." I'm not allowed to really say that as a journalist, but what a loser.
Yeah. I feel like this is one of the stronger pieces of the night. I really feel like this should have been earlier in the show.
Absolutely. This might have been this probably was the strongest piece of the night.
Probably sketch of the night.
I'm surprised
I'm
surprised they put it towards the end.
At the end.
I
mean, this was like the last thing before Good Nights.
They really should have bumped this up because I think it was pretty strong. And of course we see J.A.J. doing his Lindsey Graham impression, begging for money, which of course puts a lot of people, liberals at ease. And I really dug this sketch. I thought it was an interesting concept and really cool thing.
I was like, I would probably get this app if this was a real thing.
Yeah. Alvin Bragg reading all his 34 felony counts.
Yeah.
In a very soothing tone.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I need that. Yes.
I don't really get into ASMR in general. I don't really see what's relaxing about it personally.
Yeah. I've never have either.
I've tried listening to it and I'm just like, it's just this whispery shit I can barely hear. And I don't find that relaxing.
Yeah.
I'm like, what did they say? And yeah.
It's like that, or like when people listen to white noise.
Yeah, I never got that either.
I'd much
the
rather.
babbling brooks. And,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'd actually honestly much rather listen to like maybe some like soft rock or something I grew up with, like
Right.
like that '70s AM radio songs, like
Uh-huh.
I don't know, like old school Fleetwood Mac. That puts me more
Sure.
smooth in a soothing world than
Right.
stuff like that. But I get it, I guess.
Rumors, an album
Yeah.
by and for people cheating on each other.
And if you don't love me now, oh, fantastic. But yeah, I really like the sketch. I think it's sketch
yeah.
of the night. They should have bumped it up.
Should have bumped it up. Should have been much better, and should have Sarah dress up as Wolf Blitzer more often.
Yes. Oh wow, you found your new kink or
No, I'm not. I'm not saying it's a fetish or something
Okay.
like that. I'm just saying it was funny.
It was funny. Yeah, I did
Yeah.
not expect to see that either.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the episode. Overall, a little
Big come down from last week.
Yeah.
Like last week, I liked everything to some degree, and this week, I thought the most that we had of anything was just like okay. I thought that was the highest level they rose to. It was
Yeah.
really. It felt like an off week.
It definitely did. Like the CN Zen, I thought was the best sketch. I like
Yeah.
I thought Valets was all right.
Valets was okay. I felt like it was more of a mid-show thing.
Yeah, everything else was pretty middling, I'd say.
Yeah, and that's being generous.
Yeah, I mean it's a little bit of a bummer because like Molly's great and everybody likes Molly, so
Yeah,
it's one of those things where everybody expects the best from this old cast member that people really like and want to see succeed, and it's it's almost like the Will Forte episode where that episode was kind of So I don't know. To see this episode come out, it doesn't make me hate Molly any.
should we just not want things anymore? Should we just not ever get our expectations high?
I find that's the best way to live life. Don't expect
Right.
anything. Don't want things. Just get by, and through day to day until the cold hand of the Grim Reaper comes to take you away off this mortal coil.
Yeah.
So let's go to Twitter. Let's see what the tweets
Twitter,
say.
yeah. Let's see what they have to say on the Twitter sphere. What people had to think.
What did people have to think, John?
Let's see. Nick Store.
Ooh.
That's Store with 2 R's.
Oh.
Because he's fancy, I guess.
That's right.
No peaks, no valleys. No sketch was as bad as last week's midwife sketch. None as good as last week's first half. My highlight was JAJ trolling Mikey as Trump in the cold open. That was kind of amusing. That was probably the thing I found the most amusing. If I was containing my crushing disappointment that we were doing Trump. Nick Store says, probably the best cold open of the season. Ooh, I don't agree with that. Props to Molly K, who had her best all-around episode to date.
Oh, and then he changed it to say "there," not "her." So.
Oh, good. All right. So
Yeah, I think there
Caught
was
the
a good
mistake
amount of
there.
there was a good amount of Kearney in this episode. I will say that.
Yeah. Jacob replying at Jake362 says, I get pretty tired of the Trump cold opens despite how absolutely spot on JAJ's impression is, but this one was pretty great. I'm surprised Mikey didn't break completely. Yeah, that's my basic feeling too, is I'm just tired of the Trump cold opens.
It's a weird place to be in because he has this really good Trump impression, but
yeah, but he's missed his window.
Yeah, I guess
because they didn't cast him in the show until after he was out office. So what you gonna do?
What you gonna do? Mikey with 2 E's, the second E for England.
England, where Mikey lives.
He says, a returning cast member is always a win for me.
Don't do that.
Okay. I thought he liked me. I thought I nailed it, but okay. Not the greatest episode we'll ever see, but also nothing stunk up 8H too much. Weekend Update was fun, and the Shine Box reference from Goodfellas was a high point. Guess I'm showing my age now. I'm 43, and I like to kick and stretch and kick. Also got a question. Keenan featured a lot and does most weeks, even in small roles where anyone could easily do the part. Do you think if you write a sketch including him, it's more likely to get on? Does he also have a big hand in what he gets on? He must do at this point, right?
He must do is the most British way to phrase that.
Yeah.
I don't know why Brits say must do, and we just say must.
Yeah, he must do at this point,
Yeah,
right?
I don't know how that is a thing that, even though we share this common language, we
speaking-
kind of split off.
We're speaking two different languages, even
Yeah.
though it's the same language.
Yeah.
But that's a good point. Like, if you write a sketch for Keenan, do you do that knowing that the better chance it'll get on the air?
I feel like that there is, because I feel like, he is kind of beloved there, and I feel like he is a go-to for the writers there to the point of becoming a crutch for the show.
Yeah, that's fair. I could see that. I think he's one of those cast members. It's like you said, like he has a big people love him. He has a big fan base, and the people want to see him do well. And so there is a chance. There is something to be said about writing a sketch for somebody who people are gonna love, rather than maybe take a chance on like a newer cast member who still has to prove themselves.
But I feel like they cutting to Keenan is like still their go-to very much, because I feel like they're telling themselves, oh, this is always going to be a home run. He'll always make it good. And I feel like at this point, it's a 50-50 thing.
Yeah, I think
sometimes he's great. Sometimes he is just flat out awful.
Yeah, I think I'd rather see them, and they are. I will say they are taking more chances on like some of the new cast members. Like I see a good amount of.
I think they are integrating the newer cast members better into the show.
Yeah,
into the show better, which might be a better way to phrase that sentence.
Must do.
Yeah, must do.
Yeah, but like Devin seemed to be getting a good amount of screen time. I see Marcelo quite a bit. Longfellow, Sherman is.
I have at least a good idea of all their personalities, and nobody's like disappearing.
Right. No one's Lauren Holting.
Right.
Pretty much. Sorry.
Let's not make that a regular thing.
I really shouldn't. But it seems like they're doing a good amount of integrating newer cast members in the sketch. I'd just like to see maybe more of that.
Yeah. Let's see. Who else? Jacob, who replied to Nick's Store before. He has more opinions. He says, I thought this was a really fun episode. No real complaints outside of the valet sketch having no ending. Like Boardman, the Keenan line killed me. That is replying to a comment we have not read yet from Boardman Gets Paid.
Right.
It was a wonderful follow-up to last week's ep, which I really loved. Just happy to see Molly being Molly.
Oh, that's so sweet.
That is sweet.
And Boardman Gets Paid. Lee Hot Lion says, hi guys from the slums. Wait, shoot, I pressed
the slums of the Mushroom Kingdom.
Yes.
Which that sounds kind of dirty.
It really does. That sounds raunchy.
Yeah. That sounds like I'm about to get a dick pic.
Yeah. Ooh. Mm-hmm. You call it the Mushroom Kingdom. I thought this episode was okay. Molly brought heavy energy, but I'm going to steal your car, you black bitch, ended me. So
it's just fun to say, right?
You got to be careful where you say it, but yeah.
No, you don't. Say it everywhere. Say it in mixed company.
Say it in Harlem, Detroit, or wherever.
Say it at the Easter Sunday services you went to this morning.
Say it Easter Sunday service.
Yep.
All right. That's some people say praise God. Some people say I'm going to steal your car, you black bitch. So I hope to rise soon enough to catch this Saturday's episode. Love you guys.
Oh, and then they give a little peace sign.
Thank you. Peace to you too,
Thank
Boardman.
you. Yeah.
Peace be with you, my friend.
Oh, I feel loved. And then lastly, I think this is the last one.
Yes.
We read these a little out of order. Well, actually, we have one other one from Saturday Night Vibes, but it's just a GIF, so I'm not going to try and summarize that. Go to our Twitter and check it out there. But lastly, Manette Moratti, our friend, former guest on the show, says, overall, it felt like a celebration of her time on SNL, and thus Molly did things she wanted to do. A lot of singing/dancing, plus some sketches that could have been from her era. Maybe not the best ep compared to others, but at least everyone looked like they were having fun. And that's just damning with faint praise. It reads like
I mean I really think that's the best way to say it. Like a lot of the sketches weren't great, but everybody seemed to be having fun. Like it does seem like the pregnancy work that does feel like something that would have come out of Molly's era on the show. Like I could see that.
Yeah.
Maybe even Vajir too. But But I think that's the best way to explain it. The episode wasn't great, but everybody seemed to be having fun, and a lot of it seemed like stuff Molly really wanted to do. I mean, Jeannie Darcy alone, like that's something. It feels like
that was a deep cut. Yeah,
that was a deep cut. That seemed like something Shannon really wanted to do. So they're like, all right, we'll do it, even though not everybody's going to get this.
Right. And I was mildly amused by that, partly because of the obscurity of the character.
Absolutely.
And kind of surprised that I remember this character, which is that's weird.
Yeah, it was a deep cut.
But it's a stand-up thing, so I guess it's stuck in my head more
Yes.
readily than most.
Don't even get me started.
Yeah, I like seeing the cast members have fun. It only bugs me when I feel like they're putting more emphasis on the cast having fun than the audience having fun.
Yeah, because we should all be having fun.
Right. And
like-
I don't like it when it feels like they're amusing themselves more than the audience. I don't know if that quite happened this week, but I do feel like it was an off show.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree with what you're saying. Like, it does feel like, oh, you guys are having fun. It's great. We'll just wait here until you make us laugh or do something funny. I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can feel a little. What's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, like a little bit like, oh, you're having a great old time, and we're just kind of sitting here with a thumb up.
It was I don't know if I want to say lackluster, but it was a little bit of a disappointing episode for me, especially since last week, because I felt like they were really firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, it was. This one was definitely a step down. Yeah, last week's episode was way better, but it happens.
And I was surprised. I mean, but yeah, it's a very cyclical show by its nature. So
yeah, it's a SNL, ebbs and flows, highs and lows. You know how it goes.
Dogs and cats living together.
Yes, and that's our episode, guys. Thanks for listening, as always. Yeah. You could follow us. Well, you know what? Let's talk about the next episode before I go into the whole spiel with the Twitters and what have you. Because the next episode, April 18th, I think.
Wait, is that when it's happening? It's not happening next week,
isn't it? I
haven't looked this up.
I should really.
Is there a gap? Have we reached a gap?
When is next week? I should. April 15th. Sorry.
April 15th.
My mistake. April 15th.
Okay. And that is like, okay, today, yesterday was the 8th, so that is next week.
I'm not good with numbers, guys.
Holy cow.
Yeah, sorry. I
didn't
didn't mean to freak you out.
What the hell's going on? What is time? Because I still feel like we're at the beginning of April. I'm still like getting used to it being April, and now it's... Okay.
We're like mid-April at this point.
Well, we're recording this on the 9th. This will drop on the 10th.
Tomorrow's the 10th. Double digits, man.
Okay. That's not quite mid.
It's almost.
Not as mid as this episode.
Hey, damn.
But anyway, next week, Ana de Armas and Carol G.
Yes, Ana de Armas, very famous actor who kind of blew up on the scene with being in Knives Out. Mm-hmm. Being in the Netflix movie Blonde, playing Marilyn Monroe. That was a little controversial thing. She was in The Gray Man. That was also on Netflix. And the upcoming Ghosted with Chris Evans. And she's going to have her own spin-off series from the John Wick movie series, Ballerina. So she's having a bit of a moment here.
She's doing a lot of stuff.
Yes.
She's out there. She's doing stuff. She's making it happen.
Making things happen.
So, we'll get to see her. We haven't gotten to see her be funny a whole lot. She had some funny moments in Knives Out.
Right.
And she has a slight comedic presence in the Bond movie she did, No Time to Die. That was the last Bond movie. She's like kind of funny-ish in that.
Yeah.
But it'll be fun to see her be funny and not just like drop dead gorgeous.
Yeah, I think I think I said it last time. That's kind of my concern, where somebody who is hosting the show who's just known for being very attractive. The show kind of leans on all the sketches just being look how hot the host is. Like they kind of did that like when Margot Robbie hosted and Gal Gadot or Godot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So is this going to be like a repeat of the Gal Gadot?
I will say we are probably going to have at least one sketch that is all about lusting after Ana de Armas.
I could see that.
Yeah.
It's pretty much a given.
Yeah.
And
I feel like they just can't help themselves.
Yeah,
there are too many.
She's so pretty.
There are too many adolescent boys writing SNL.
Shout out to the PDD
and look,
boys.
I am not. I would do the exact same thing in their shoes.
Yes, she's so pretty. You're so pretty. And Carol G, I'm not familiar with. I know she is a Colombian singer who kind of has like a reggaeton Latino singing style. I guess almost like a Bad Bunny type of vibe. So it'll be a
unknown quantity for me. So,
it'll be a Latinx heavy episode of SNL coming up.
Okay, we're going Latina.
Yes, see.
So.
And that's the episode, guys. Thanks for listening, as always, to SNL Nerds. You can follow us on Twitter at SNL Nerds Show. Donate to our Patreon at Non-Productive.com. And as always, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Darren Credible. That's DARIN Credible.
And you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Trumbull Comic. That's TRUMBULL, and then the word comic. You can also rate and review us on your favorite podcast app of choice. And that we really appreciate that. That really does help out. And we appreciate you listening and commenting and, letting us know what you think of the episode, too. Because we like having that conversation.
Yeah, we like it. Just give us reviews. Boost our algorithms. Get us out there. Spread the word.
Spread the word. Tell your friends.
Yeah, and they'll tell a friend, and then they'll tell a friend, and then tell a friend.
Or, even just retweeting it when we drop an episode or doing like that. That really helps us out.
It really does.
Yeah, so we appreciate everybody who does that and takes the time to listen. Because that helps make it more fun for us.
Yes, and we like fun.
We like fun.
Absolutely. I guess that's it.
I think we're done.
I think we're good.
I think we covered it all. We did it all.
We did it all, man.
We did it all. We did some of it twice.
Yeah.
We did. We had to re-record a little bit of this.
Yeah.
We're not going to tell you where. Yeah. Write in. Guess where.
Yeah.
Guess where. Where did our energy flag?
Where it is this is where they petered out.
Where were they? Were like 1 minute, like, hey, oh yeah. And then, oh yeah.
This is where the downfall began.
Yeah. We're curious. How noticeable was it? But anyway, we'll be back next week where we're covering the Ana de Armas and Carol G episode. And hopefully we'll have fun with that. And hopefully it'll be a good show.
Maybe we'll do it in the studio again. Who knows?
Maybe we'll do it in the studio again.
See.
Who knows? I think this went okay.
Oh, yeah.
Sort of. We had a glitch or two. But we dealt with it. We rolled with the punches.
Right. We're professionals.
We're professional-ish.
Yeah.
But anyway, we'll be back next week. But until then, nerds out.
Nerds out.
We are actually in the studio and we can actually do it together.
Oh, shit. I forgot that. Wow. Yeah,
I was looking forward to that.
Holy
Do you want to try doing it together?
Yeah. Sure. What the hell?
Okay. But until then, nerds out.
We did it.
This has been a non-productive media presentation. Executive producer Frank Hablawi. This program and many others like it on the Non-Productive Network is distributed under a Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial No Derivatives license. Please share it, but ask before trying to change it or sell it. For more information, visit non-productive.com.